Hi everyone, it's Miss Gada, and today we are going to be reading one of my favorite books for the fall time of year. It's called The Littlest Pumpkin by R.A. Herman, illustrated by Bettina Ogden. Now looking at the cover of this book, can you guys list 3 of the 6 costumes based on the cover? I see a mummy, a witch, that looks like a bat right in the middle, a princess or a fairy, a ghost, and that kind of looks like Dracula to me over there. What costume were you for Halloween? That sounds so cool. I bet you had a lot of fun. What do you call giving human qualities to non-human items? Like these mice over here? They're acting as if they were actual people. That's right, personification. Personification means giving human qualities to non-human objects. Now, let's get started with our story. The Littlest Pumpkin. Look at all those pumpkins, and they all have a smile on their face. And you see here it says Bartlett's Farm Stand. It was Halloween and there were 18 pumpkins left at Bartlett's Farm Stand. The pumpkins looked their very best because they all wanted to be taken home and made into jack-o'-lanterns. The littlest pumpkin had the biggest dreams of all. She saw herself shining in the dark with ghosts, monsters, witches, and fairies gathered around her singing a Halloween song. And today was the day when all her dreams were going to come true. That's her dreaming about being a little jack-o'-lantern and having people dressed up and singing all around her. Maggie dropped by the stand on her way to school, just as it was opening. "I want the biggest pumpkin you have for my class party," she said, looking at the pumpkins on display. She didn't even glance at the littlest pumpkin. The pumpkin Maggie chose was so big, Mr. Bartlett had to help her put it in her mom's car. Have you guys ever gone to a pumpkin patch? What was that experience like for you guys? Did you have fun? I know I love going to the pumpkin patch. And especially Maze Valley. That's over by where I live, and it's so much fun to go and look around there. Then the twins arrived. Jess wanted the roundest, fattest pumpkin. Jen wanted the tallest, skinniest pumpkin. They both knew exactly what they wanted their jack-o'-lanterns to look like. Later that morning, Mrs. Garland's class came to the farm stand to buy apples and pumpkins for their Halloween party. The littlest pumpkin was very excited when she saw all the children. "Now, certainly, I will be chosen by someone and made into a jack-o'-lantern," she thought. But no one chose the littlest pumpkin. Can you guys see her right over here just sitting all by herself? She has a frown on her face, and before they all had smiles. Let's hope that changes. All day long, people came to the farm stand to buy pumpkins. Mr. Potter ran in to choose a pumpkin for his daughter, Kate. Poor Kate was home with the flu, but she had drawn pictures for her dad so he could see exactly what kind of pumpkin she wanted. Mr. Potter looked at every single pumpkin until he found the right one. See the drawing. The sun began to set, and only 4 pumpkins were left at the farm stand. One pumpkin had a bruise on its back. One pumpkin was lumpy and bumpy. One pumpkin didn't have a stem, and the last pumpkin was the littlest pumpkin. The littlest pumpkin still had big dreams. She would be a beautiful jack-o'-lantern at a Halloween party. She would shine in the dark with ghosts, monsters, witches, and fairies gathered around her singing a Halloween song. This last line that I just read, she would shine in the dark with ghosts, monsters, witches, and fairies gathered around her singing a Halloween song. Is this line foreshadowing what will happen at the end of the story? Foreshadowing is to be an indication of a future event. Does that kind of go along with what you saw at the cover? We'll see. That's her dream over there. But while the littlest pumpkin was dreaming, Gabe and Mona arrived. They ran up to the 4 remaining pumpkins. Gabe grabbed the stemless one. "Perfect," he said. "My jack-o'-lantern is going to wear this hat." Mona picked up the littlest pumpkin. "Oh, how cute," she said. The littlest pumpkin was so happy. All her dreams were going to come true. "But it's too small for me to carve into a jack-o'-lantern," said Mona, putting it down. Then she picked up the lumpy, bumpy one and said, "Now this one is perfect." Let's hope that the little jack-o'-lantern gets picked. Soon it was dark, and the stars began to sparkle in the sky. Mr. Bartlett was cleaning up. "Oh, please don't close yet," thought the littlest pumpkin. "I must be a jack-o'-lantern for Halloween." Suddenly, Mr. Bartlett heard someone calling his name. "Mr. Bartlett! Mr. Bartlett!" It was Sam. "Please wait," said Sam. "I need pumpkin for my party tonight." Mr. Bartlett picked up the bruised pumpkin and told Sam that if he turned it around, it would make a very nice jack-o'-lantern. Sam agreed, and with that, Mr. Bartlett closed the farm stand. So, there, in the dark on Halloween night, sat the littlest pumpkin. She was all alone, or so she thought. For just when the littlest pumpkin was sure she was going to be spending Halloween night all alone in the empty farm stand, mice started scurrying around her. Scurrying is a word that means coming in fast, almost like a little run. They were decorating everything, wearing tiny clothes, costumes, and carrying all sorts of Halloween goodies. And before the little pumpkin knew what was happening, she found herself in the middle of a Halloween party. Mice dressed in costumes were bobbing for cranberries, playing pin the tail on the squirrel, and eating cheese and crumbs. What games are these in our world or society? I know one is bobbing for apples, not cranberries. Those would be way too small for us. Then the best thing of all happened. Oh my gosh. The littlest pumpkin was turned into a jack-o'-lantern. She was shining in the dark with ghosts, monsters, witches, and fairies gathered around her singing a Halloween song. All her big dreams had come true on Halloween night. Would you guys have bought the littlest pumpkin? I know this past year I bought a couple of little pumpkins myself, and I loved having them as a little decoration. What was the theme of the story? Was it to not judge someone based on their size or shape, and to always include all? Or is it to be happy and always have an open mind? Either way, you're going to find a theme out of this book. Thank you for reading with me. I hope you have a great day.